Kia ora koutou tamariki mā. You've caught me colouring my Te Wheke octopus. He was a very, very naughty wheke and he caused Kupe heaps and heaps of trouble. Back in Hawaii, Kupe and all the fishermen loved to go fishing for their tribe. They'd return from the fishing grounds with all kinds of beautiful fish, until the day that Kupe and the fishermen went out and they didn't catch a single fish. They kept casting their lines, but when they raised their lines, their fish hooks were bare. Not even a smidgen of bait left. Kupe also noticed that there was slime on their hooks and their nets. Kupe realised that the slime had come from a wheke. Kupe and his wife Kura Marotini, they knew that a tohanga, Muturangi, lived on the other side of the island, and he had a pet wheke. So off Kupe went to visit Muturangi to growl at him about his naughty wheke. Kupe asked Muturangi to keep his pet wheke on his own side of the island. But Muturangi said, "No ka hore, I will not. Te Wheke can go fishing wherever he wants." Of course, Muturangi didn't want to keep Te Wheke on his side of the island to eat all his fish. Kupe was very grumpy about Muturangi's response. "I will kill your wheke," Kupe said. Muturangi just laughed. "Ha ha ha! You say you will kill Te Wheke, but I think, Kupe, that Te Wheke will kill you first." Kupe quickly travelled back to his people. He told Kura Marotini what happened, and they decided to leave the island and hunt down and kill Te Wheke. They filled their wakahaurua with food and calabashes to hold water. Their children, some warriors, and even their dog came with them too. Off they went to the fishing ground. They dropped their lines to tempt Te Wheke, but they got no bites because Muturangi had told Te Wheke about Kupe's visit. On that day, Te Wheke didn't touch the bait on their lines. Instead, he grabbed the bow, that's the front of the waka, with his huge tentacle. Te Wheke pulled the bow down into the water and the waka tipped forward, nearly tipping everyone off. But Kupe slashed at the tentacle with his midi and Te Wheke let go of the waka. Kupe chanted a loud chant to cast a spell over Te Wheke that would not let Te Wheke dive under the moana. Te Wheke would have to swim on the surface of the moana where Kupe and his crew could keep an eye on him and see him. They chased Te Wheke many kilometres across the Pacific Ocean. They chased him under burning hot days and beneath black nights filled with stars. They followed him through huge storms and towering waves that almost smashed the waka to smithereens, until they finally chased him to the shores of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Kupe's people settled in this new land in the Hokianga area, and then Kupe was off to chase Te Wheke. Kupe travelled all the way down Te Raukawa, Cook Strait, between the North and South Islands, to where Te Wheke was hiding in a cave. But Te Wheke was cunning and had snuck out of the cave. So Kupe tempted Te Wheke to the waka and tricked Te Wheke by throwing some calabashes out into the water. Te Wheke thought it was a person falling in and he swam over. Kupe struck Te Wheke between the eyes, and that was the end of Te Wheke. Thanks for listening to my version of Te Wheke and Kupe. It's a fun story to tell. I'm going to finish colouring in my wheke, and then I think I'm going to put it up on the wall in our office. You might like to draw your own wheke, or even a wakahaurua, because it's quite fun to get those two hulls in, and the deck, and the fancy sails. Ka kite.